What if everything you thought you knew about a villain was actually a tragedy? That's what this stretch of One Piece delivers, and it hits different every single time. NaniTube. What's up guys, welcome back to NaniTube. We're covering over 100 episodes across two of the most emotional arcs in the entire series, the final showdown on Dressrosa and the eerie mysteries of Zou, before crashing headfirst into Big Mom's territory. So buckle up. We open with a brutal flashback that pulls back the curtain on Law's past, and it's devastating. Law grew up in Flevens, the White City, a kingdom built on a poison that slowly killed everyone who lived there. When the world found out, they didn't help. They just closed the borders and let everyone die. Law watched his family, his friends, everyone he'd ever known get wiped out. He ended up joining the Don Quixote pirates as a dying child, and that's where he met Corazon, Doflamingo's own brother, who was secretly working against him as a marine agent. Corazon couldn't even speak. He had to hide that from Doflamingo for years. Corazon's entire mission became keeping Law alive. He traveled from hospital to hospital, trying to find a cure, and failed every time. So he did the unthinkable. He stole the Ope Opinomi, the very devil fruit Doflamingo was about to take, and force-fed it to Law. But they were caught. Vergo beat them both senseless and called in Doflamingo. And then Doflamingo executed his own brother in cold blood, while a dying Law, hidden in a box, listened to the gunshots screaming inside. That is why Law hates Doflamingo. Not for power, not for pride, for Corazon. Back in the present, Law and Doflamingo's clash picks up mid-fight. Law uses injection shot, piercing Doflamingo through, but Doflamingo literally stitches himself back together with his strings. Then, he cuts off Law's arm. He's done. While the fights on the plateau are wrapping up, Kiros avenging Scarlet, Zoro slicing Pika apart in midair, Bartolomeo covering for Robin, the birdcage is closing in. Everyone on Dressrosa is about to die. Then, Luffy arrives. He goes straight at Doflamingo. Law pulls off a secret plan, using Gamma Knife to destroy Doflamingo's internal organs, but Doflamingo just repairs himself. He literally reconstructs his own organs with his devil fruit. Luffy's running out of time. The birdcage keeps shrinking, so he does it. Gear forth. Boundman. The crowd on Dressrosa goes silent. Doflamingo tries to find a counter, tries turning the city itself into strings, but Luffy is just faster. He lands a massive hit, then he goes even further, King Kong gun, and sends Doflamingo crashing through the earth. Doflamingo falls, the birdcage disappears. Kiros cries human tears for the first time in 10 years. Dressrosa is free. The fallout is massive. Admiral Fujitora literally prostrates before King Riku in apology for the road government allowing Doflamingo to rule. The news reaches every corner of the world. Kaido is furious. Worst generation alliances start rearranging, and quietly, Bellamy says his goodbye. Sabo reunites with Luffy, and 7 crews pledge their loyalty to form the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Something big is coming. Skip ahead a week. The crew finally makes it to Zou, except Zou isn't an island. It's a living, breathing, ancient elephant the size of a mountain, walking across the ocean. The top of the elephant is home to the Mink Tribe. Animal people, fierce warriors, and some of the most loyal allies the Straw Hats will ever meet. But when they arrive, the city is in ruins, and the Straw Hats learn why. Jack of the Beast Pirates came looking for someone named Raizo, and when the Minks refused to talk, he nearly destroyed them all. The two rulers of Zou, Inuyasha by day, Nekomamushi by night, had been tortured and left for dead. The only reason Zou survived The curly hat pirates arrived and drove Jack off. Then, the Straw Hats discovered why Sanji disappeared. Capone Beige ambushed him, showed him an invitation to marry Charlotte Pudding of the Big Mom Pirates, and Sanji chose to go quietly to protect his crew. He left a note and he walked away. So it looks like 1.4% of viewers are subscribed. It's free and helps me out a lot. Thanks. Then we get one of the best standoffs in the arc. Inuyasha and Nekomamushi, bitter enemies who haven't spoken in years, about to come to blows. When Kinemon reveals he's a retainer of the Kozuki family, the Minks immediately stand down. They've been protecting Raizo this whole time. Inside the whale tree, they find him, Raizo, chained to a red stone. Robin translates it, a Road Poneglyph. There are 4 of these in the world. Find all 4, connect the lands they point to, and you'll find Laugh Tale at the center, the resting place of the One Piece. 2 of the 4 Road Poneglyphs belong to Big Mom and Kaido. The Kozuki family built the poneglyphs centuries ago, but their knowledge died with Momonosuke's father, Oden, executed by Kaido. Oden had been on Roger's ship, he'd seen Laugh Tale, and now Kaido occupies Wano to make sure nobody ever follows that path. Luffy and Momonosuke both hear Zunisha speaking, and when Jack returns to finish what he started, Momonosuke does something extraordinary. He gives Zunisha the order to fight back. One swing of that ancient trunk and Jack's entire fleet is annihilated. The crew splits. One group heads to Wano, another stays on Zou, and Luffy's team, the Sanji Retrieval Squad, set sail for Tato Land. They run into Sanji's family en route. The Vinsmokes, rulers of Germa 66. Raizo literally sucks deadly poison out of Luffy's body to save him. Cold opener, right? They land on Cacao Island. Everything is made of chocolate. Luffy and Chopper eat an entire cafe, cause that's our boy. They meet Pudding, who seems sweet and helpful for now. Meanwhile, Big Mom is having a craving meltdown, rampaging through her own capital, killing her own son, destroying her own city, before Jinbei, of all people, stops her by bringing Croquembouche. And then Jinbei formally requests to leave the Big Mom Pirates. The tension in that room is real. The team reaches Whole Cake Island, and Sanji is standing right there on the shore. They could almost grab him, but things are just never that simple. Inside the seducing woods, everything is alive and nothing makes sense. Luffy chases a copy of himself. Nami's homies turn against her. Big Mom's ex-husband is buried up to his neck in the ground, and then Charlotte Cracker shows up, one of Big Mom's 3 sweet commanders, 800 million bounty, and the ability to create an endless army of biscuit soldiers. Luffy goes gear 4th again. He hits Cracker so hard the sweet commander shatters, and then Cracker stands back up, reveals his real body, and creates dozens of new biscuit soldiers all at once. That's where we leave off. Luffy and Nami against an army, Brook and Pedro sneaking into the chateau, and the Vinsmoke brothers arriving for the wedding. 2 arcs, 100 episodes, and no shortage of moments that hit like King Kong gun. Law's entire character reframed, Dressrosa finally freed, the Road Poneglyphs introduced, and Big Mom's world opened up in the most terrifying way possible. If you're watching for the first time, don't look up what happens next. But if you're rewatching, you know exactly what's coming. Either way, drop a comment with your favorite moment from this stretch, and subscribe if you want the next 100 covered. We're just getting started. Peace.